Hello golfers, this video is on why you need two different swings for your driver and everything else that you play from the turf. It's really important, can make a huge difference to you. Let's get after it. Hopefully you can see that I have got two golf balls between my 7-iron ball position and my driver ball position. Your results may vary. The real difference between the driver and everything else is the task is totally different. With my 7-iron, I need to hit that golf ball and then at least bounce off the turf, if not take a divot. I take a little half-dollar size divot even with my 3-wood. 4-wood. We don't hit 3-woods. But my driver, I don't want to bottom out in front unless I feel like hitting pop-ups high off the face. You know you've done it. Or putting tons of spin on the golf ball from hitting low on the face and coming down into it. No, I want to closer to bottom out back by the 7-iron ball location so I can swing up on it. Watch my body with just one hand, bottoming out in front. You can see I'm more forward. I'm more toward the target at impact. Driver, hitting up on the ball, I'm more backward. Folks, I'm not sure there's any other way. Right? Remember now, it's almost a 5-yard penalty for every degree you hit down the golf ball, right? So we don't want to be hitting down our driver. I guess that does lend to more complexity. Well, you tell me I have to have a different concept for my irons than I do at my driver? Yes. But thank goodness most of it is in setup. Yay. You'll notice that at setup, I'm quite vertical with my shirt buttons. Got to be careful of tilting back with an iron. Remember, the divot wants to follow you around. And if my shirt buttons are in front of the golf ball, so's my divot most likely. No, you don't stay behind the golf ball with irons. Good God, we got to get rid of that one. That's insanity. Got to hit the ground out there. By the way, that's a real cool little step. Even if it's not a real swing, just bouncing the club out here. I'm bouncing out in front of that golf ball. Around the golf course, you got all these different lies, uphill, downhill, below your feet, heavy rough, hopefully not too much heavy rough, hopefully not fescue, but you've got to be able to attune yourself and your ability to hit the club on the ground with all these funky lies. So I like that little pre-shot practice swing there. The ball is just a little ahead of center, standard shot. I could move it a little bit more forward, but not very much because I'm going to have trouble controlling where the club hits the ground. So it's a little forward of center. By the way, a cool thing is to point your foot straight out first and then flare it out. Because I tell you what, doesn't this look different? Watch my feet now. Feet straight in, looks forward. Now let's say just move backward in my stance from my point of view. It didn't. I just flared my foot out. All right. 171 carry, 82 miles an hour. I must be feeling good today. That's a little draw, okay? We're going to have a look at that. When we look at these side by side, you'll see something different. That's a standard issue draw, and I hit that one really well. The driver is going to represent something totally different, though. In our community, we had a little question about the wrist setting motion was confusing somebody. Now, just remember, when you set your wrists, I'm begging you, make sure you set it so this is pretty flat. If you set it and bend that wrist, this driver's going to eat your lunch. Let me show you why. This sucker is like a foot longer than the other one. This driver is resisting my efforts to square the face because it's so far. The center of mass is so much farther from my hands, and I'm not the world's strongest dude. You will notice that some of your buddies, maybe even you, who scoop, flip your irons, they hit the irons really short, not real solid, but they drive the ball much better. The reason is the driver is resisting your efforts to do this number. The irons are allowing it. They're just not hard to overcome. Okay, I'm going to give you one iron feel with my driver, like I'm trying to bottom out in front. I will give you the driver setup, ball up forward. And some folks have it more in the middle of the stance than that. It has to do with how much you shift. Don't worry about it for now. I'm just going to put it in my ball location. Stance width, good posture, but a little tilt to the right because that helps me swing up at the golf ball. All right, now give it the feeling of bottoming out over here like an iron. Okay, when I hit that one, I did manage to hit down on it 3 degrees. It went a total of nowhere. I hit it way up on the club face. I'm sorry, baby. Yeah, I don't like that one at all. It only went 246 on 98 miles an hour. Huh. By the way, I hit it high in the face, so my spin rate was very low, so it did get a bunch of roll. That's fine. Let me show you the difference. Now I'm going to swing up at it, and you'll see my head stays behind the ball now. Part of the reason is because the ball's forward in the stance. Part is because I actually let myself stay behind it this way. Really big deal. The wrist setting motion might be the same, but the driver is almost trying to resist my efforts to square it up through impact. So with my driver, I have to put more push against the shaft and more twist to the face because I can pull the club like an iron so that I bottom out here. That opens the face, makes me hit down. If I pull this club too much, I'm going to show you pulling it too much first, and we'll see a difference here. I'm going to show you. Okay, this is too much pull down. Good setup, good posture. That one I hit pretty darn solid. That is 4 to the right. That ball is 30 yards right there, folks. Wait till you see this difference. I want to hit the ground, so give it a little pull down. I want to hit up, give it a little push away. Pushing and twisting the club face. Hey, I hit up on that sucker. I hit it almost 270. Didn't quite get it right in the middle of the face. I actually hit 4 degrees up on that golf ball. Isn't that special? So now let's go ahead and take a look at the real differences in these swings. Top of the backswing, you see my club's gotten back farther on the driver. I've actually wound up more because I don't have the necessity to hit the ground out in front. I can wind up more. It's just going to help me. Coming down, this is a big deal. Now, I need you to watch the way the club shaft stays close to my shoulder. All right, so there we are, left arm parallel again. And this driver, I think this is my iron swing driver. This is the one that shows you if I am pulling along the shaft. So remember, folks, remember, the deal is for us, I can push upward against the head. Right, that's my hands pushing against the shaft. Or I can pull along the shaft. In this case, I'm using my iron pull, and the club stays very close to my to my shoulder. And what happens is that can make my left wrist open the face as my wrist bends. Now coming into impact on the iron, you can kind of see that my shirt buttons are still in the middle of the stance. The club, left arm club shaft aren't quite straightened out yet. The hands in front of the club head at impact. All right, big deal. On this one here with the driver is resisting my efforts here. And you'll see this one, my hands are even more out in front, and I could not square the club face. If we look at those golf balls, this one went 4 right, and the iron went perfect because I was able to get the club face back out because the club itself is not resisting me. On this one, I've got my good setup. Now, that club is going to be pushed against hard, and you'll see I'm trying like heck to spring that shaft up a bit, to use an old Jimmy Ballard saying, a little bit of feels like what Justin Thomas does to get that club shaft moving faster. And you can see here it's less narrow. It's less close to my shoulder. I'm getting the shaft out. Now this widening of the arc on the downswing is giving me more time to square the club face. So I like that one a lot. My hands and the club are at the ball at the same time. That's going to let me hit up. You can see here between my iron swing and my driver swing, my head is different. Iron spine tilt, there's some. You know why my spine tilts with an iron? Because my lower body, the left hip, my left side of my belt shifts toward the target. With a driver, I have even more tilt because that's a great way to hit up on the golf ball. I hope that's really clear because it's a very big deal to your success as a golfer. Going into the finish, you may see more difference here. Tilted back more. You'll see it on TV. More vertical. That's really the difference, okay? Now, yeah, if you actually move way backwards with your head, see my head is not moving backward too much? A little backward, couple inches, not gonna hurt you. But if you move your head way backwards where it's outside your foot, you're gonna have a war on your hands. So it's not like it's a lot. And most of it is not me trying to keep my head behind the ball at all. It's set up and then the intent of bottoming out behind and coming up with the golf club through impact. You get me? I'm not trying to do anything different necessarily except for the push up and twist of the club face. That's what I'm really doing different. That's where the difference in feels are quite dramatic. The staying behind the golf ball more and a little bit of head drift backward is simply from me trying to bottom out here and swing up to the golf ball. I hope that is very clear. So now you know there's a difference between the driver and everything else. I need you to pay attention to that. Please don't do something weird like try to stay backward, try to move backward. Set up differently, try to hit up. See, when I hit up, do you see what when I'm hitting up, my whole brain is going, I got you, coach. I'm not trying to do this. I'm trying to swing up and my brain takes care of business for me. All right, get after it, folks.